Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhattavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhattavrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhattavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Nitai Sachi Sundara Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Prema Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
Hey, thank you very much, Ben. Beautiful Kirtan, short and sweet. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. Welcome Ben, Amit, Bragash, Ji, Rishika, and Varshana Kishori Mataji. Welcome everyone for our fourth Bhagavad Gita session tonight. So, where to start? We won't do a recap and all of that. We don't have time for all of that. What we will do, we will go straight into our, well, that is a little bit of a recap. I would think so. Let's share my screen. We do on the PowerPoint. Share my screen. So, can you see my screen? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, a little bit of a recap. I'll have to get, there's so many windows, I have to get them out of the way. Okay, maybe like that. Okay, what we said last time, the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has 18th chapter, 6 and 6 and 6. The first 6 chapter deal with karma yoga and jnana yoga. The next middle 6th chapter, or at the end of the 6th chapter, the 6th chapter itself, Krishna concludes the yoga system. So sometimes people think the Gita is all about yoga. No, it's finished. Yoga, at least karma yoga and jnana yoga and ashtanga yoga and buddhi yoga, all of that is finished with the 6th chapter. Concluded, the yoga system. Then in the 6th chapter, the last verse is significant. The last verse of the 6th chapter is Yoginam api sarvesham, that is 647. Of all the yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service. What is that transcendental loving service? We say, and we call it devotional service, bhakti yoga. So the yoga system concludes, the 6th chapter, all the yogas concludes with bhakti yoga, with that most important verse. It is such a person is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Okay, the other yogas are there, karma yoga, jnana yoga, but the highest yoga is, that verse is bhakti yoga, 647, transcendental loving service, devotional service. We have explained many times before, it's like the yoga ladder. There are different steps on that ladder, from Hatha yoga, Raja yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Buddhi yoga, and so many yogas. And the top, that verse explains it. The top rung of that yoga ladder is Bhakti yoga, Yoginam api sarvesham. It's the best. And if someone does not reach the top, his yoga is pretty useless. It's like we want to go on the roof of a house, we put a ladder on, but we never reach the top of the ladder. We keep standing in the middle or 3/4 or 1/4. So the job never gets done. Srila Prabhupada says here, this is a conclusion of the yoga system. People generally say are attracted by the yoga system. Many people are attracted by the Bhagavad Gita because of the yoga. The yoga system means always thinking of Krishna. That is samadhi, and that is achieved by Krishna consciousness. So the middle 6 chapters, that's important. The middle 6 chapters is actually bhakti yoga. Well protected, like a book. The cover, front cover, back cover, in the middle is a good stuff. So, Gita finishes actually in 17th chapters. Of course, Gita had 18 chapters, but all the major teachings are accomplished in 17th chapter. The 18th chapter is just a conclusion or summary. So then we go to, revise our worksheets. And I want you to all keep your microphone on and shout out loudly what is to be filled in. Arjuna didn't No. Dhritarashtra, we're talking about Dhritarashtra's doubts. Dhritarashtra didn't want. What didn't he want?
Compromise.
Very good. Thank you. Fear of, what was he afraid of?
Losing.
Anyone? Losing the battle. Well said. Very good. Why? Because the battle was fought in a holy place called?
Kurukshetra.
Yes. Can we have some others as well? Pandavas were? What were the Pandavas?
Virtues.
Uvacha Kanda was speaking. Yes, Pandavas were what? Ben. Vaishana. You all have your microphones on, right?
There was
What
saintly.
was a saintly,
Virtues.
pious, same thing. Well done. Now, Duryodhan, he did some diplomacy. He was a very big politician. He incites. Who did he incite? In relation to? Oh, sorry. In relation. He incites Drona in relation to his disciple. Who? Who is his disciple?
Drishtadyumna.
Yes, well done. He praises Duryodhan, grandfather. Who's a grandfather?
Bhishma.
Bhishma, but then ask everyone to support him. Why? Because Bhishma and Drona have affection for the Pandavas and might be, what might they be? Anyway?
Lenient.
Less
Lenient.
important? Lenient.
Not less important, lenient. Why? Because they, Arjuna and the Pandavas were their favorites, both of them. Drona, he was the military guru, and he really loved Arjuna. Why he ended up on the other side of the battlefield, that's a whole different story. And Bhishma was also very fond of the Pandavas. Why? Because the Pandavas were just ideal persons. Duryodhan was not. He was a politician. So he wanted everyone to feel. Duryodhan wanted everyone to feel how, what? Can we have someone else? Amit, what about Amit?
Sorry, Papa, I can't remember. Sorry, Ethan.
Yes, he wanted anyone else. He wanted everyone to feel. That's from last week, yes? What's the word? Nobody?
He wanted to feel
Important.
important.
A good politician makes everyone feel important, even though they may not be important. But a good diplomat and politician, he will make everybody feel they are very important. So now, that was still from the last week, signs of victory for the Pandavas. There were some signs. Kurukshetra is what? Anyone? Vaishana, what is Kurukshetra? Ben, Rashika.
It's a holy place.
Holy place.
Yes, a holy place. Who is driving Arjun's chariot? Vaishana Mataji.
Krishna.
Krishna, very well done. Wherever Krishna is, that was an easy question. Wherever Krishna is present, who is also present?
Goddess of fortune.
Goddess of fortune. That's Rashika, right? Who's speaking?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Because I cannot see the panel at the moment, but I can recognize that voice. Yes, you have studied very well. You have studied, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, good. So wherever Krishna is present, the God. No, you're doing very well. The goddess of fortune is also present. Arjuna's, which could conquer also. Chariot, very well done. What is blowing? Vaishana. Amit, what is blowing? Amit.
Yes, what's the name for that? Is that
Kanchanjaya.
horn?
The
No.
conch shells are blowing.
Conch.
The conch shell is a symbol of who? Not what, but who?
Vishnu.
Vishnu, very well. Just see, everyone. If someone studies, said worksheet, it just takes 10 minutes. And I put in the numbers in red where to find the information. It doesn't mean you have to read all the first chapter and all the purports to get this bit of information. No, just go where the red numbers are. Vishnu, well done. Krishna and Arjuna's conch shells were what? How would you describe Krishna's and Arjuna's conch shells? Because the Kauravas' conch shells were not. But Krishna's, Arjuna's conch shells were what? Anyone? Rashik.
Panchanjaya.
What's that? Not the name of the conch shell.
Krishna's
Transcendental.
conch was Panchanjaya.
Yes,
And-
Panchachanya. But Krishna and
Arjuna's
Arjuna's
was
conch shells were transcendental, right? The Kauravas were not transcendental. Okay, question out of line. Why were Krishna's and Arjuna's conch shells transcendental? Who can say? Well, because Krishna is certainly transcendental with whatever he does, and Arjuna being his friend, being his surrendered servant, so his conch shell also is transcendental. It's not material. So result, that's a very important fill-in. That word is exactly like in the Gita. Dhritarashtra's sons' hearts were what?
Shattered.
Shattered. Important. Why important? Because we're reading quite a few verses where we hear about the Kauravas, Duryodhans and Bhishmas and Drona's conch shell and all of that. But when they sounded the conch shells, the Pandavas' hearts, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadev, Bhima, their hearts were not shattered. So that are signs of victory. If one side is shattering the hearts of the other side, but not vice versa, then that points at victory. Why were the Pandavas' hearts not shattered? What's ahead in Krishna? Rashika. Rashika, did you actually write down the answers?
I've done C. I've written down C.
Yes, very good.
So I'm finding where the questions and answers are.
Yes,
No, I
that
haven't.
helps. Writing it down. So who can say? Why were the Pandavas'
Because they
hearts?
were confident.
Yes, they were
Lord
confident in Krishna. Well done. And the last paragraph of last week, signs of victory. Who is on Arjuna's flag? Vaishana.
Hanuman.
Yes, well done. He helped to gain victory. Amit, who did Hanuman help to gain victory?
We help Ram to gain victory.
Ram, that's it. Well done. Okay, that is the fill-in from today. Arjuna is ordering Krishna, and Krishna is acting as Arjuna's. What did you fill in, Amit? Vaishana, what did you fill in?
Charioteer.
That is a good answer. Yes, that is a good answer. A charioteer, that's not exactly what is wanted here. Servant. It's significant that the supreme personality of Godhead becomes a servant of his devotee. Can we imagine? Yes. As a charioteer, he is a servant.
Right.
So Arjuna is bossing him around, basically. Arjuna said, now, can you please pull the chariot in between the armies? And Krishna says, okay, I will do. So Arjuna is commanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody can command Krishna or God, but the devotee can. Why? Krishna is called, which means he never fails in his for his What's that?
Infallible one. Sorry.
Krishna is called infallible. Achyuta, that's what it means,
Achyuta.
infallible.
Which means he never fails in his love for his devotees.
Yes, affection, love, same thing. For his devotee, well done, well done. So what we want to remember here, Achyuta, right? Krishna is called Achyuta, which means infallible. Arjuna is the conqueror of sleep. The Sanskrit word is wanted here. What does it mean? Conqueror of sleep and ignorance.
Good, Akesh.
Good.
Yes. Oh, Varshana, how did you know that? From last time?
No, I just read the a few paragraphs before.
Oh, a few paragraphs. Very good. Arjuna is good, Akesh, conqueror of sleep and ignorance. Why? He is Krishna's. What is Arjuna? He is Krishna's what?
Devotee.
Yes. And devotee and?
Friend.
Friend.
Yes. Yes, very nice. Devotee and friend. Rishikesh, important word. Krishna is Rishikesh. What does that mean?
Lord of mind and senses.
Yes, the director of the senses. Mind and senses, yes.
Direct.
As a result, he will directly control Arjuna's.
Mind and senses.
Yes, directly. Isn't that nice? If someone is surrendered to the Lord, then Krishna, he will direct the senses and the mind of that devotee. That's what we want. Please, Krishna, direct my mind, direct my senses, because otherwise they're going everywhere. The senses are going everywhere, just like some horses without the reins. So if Krishna, we can pray to Krishna, you are Rishikesh, please control my senses. He will directly control Arjuna's senses. He understands Arjuna's mind, his
Hesitation to fight.
yes, his hesitation. So he understands completely. Okay, E. Arjuna experienced symptoms in his body and mind. Why? Out of?
Out of fear.
Yes, very good. He was afraid, not for himself, but for his friends and relatives, because he loved his relatives, like we loving our relatives. As a result, Arjuna argues why he should not. Then the argument starts. Why he should not what? Amit.
Right. You should not fight.
Yes. Compassion. Arjuna has compassion. Why? Because he is a devotee. He's naturally
Kind and soft-hearted.
soft-hearted, yes, and kind also, of course, out of fear of loss of life due to, he was afraid. Materialistic, bodily concept of life, yes, same thing. Enjoyment. Arjuna wanted to enjoy. Why? He cannot alone. What he cannot do alone without his relatives.
You cannot enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. It's not very nice. Just imagine you're the richest person on the planet, like Elon Musk or Billy Gates or whoever, Rockefeller. You have all the riches, but you have nobody to share it with. It becomes extremely boring. You're the only person. So in order to enjoy on that material level, as we're talking here, we need others to share it with, to show or include them, help them out, enjoy with them. Arjuna calls Krishna Govinda, very important word, which means, what does Govinda mean? Amit,
Oh,
what does Govinda mean? Let Amit
Oh,
say.
sorry, I didn't get a chance to study. I didn't get a chance.
But you might know Govinda. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govinda. There's a word inside, go. Go. So, okay, who can say?
object of all pleasures for cows and senses.
Yes, go, the word go is in. Go means cow, and go means also senses, which means a pleaser of the cows and senses. He's pleasing the cows and the senses of the devotees. Why? He want Arjuna, he want Govinda to, what does he want?
He says here that Govinda is the giver of pleasure to the senses and to the cows.
Yes, pleaser of the cows and or giver of pleasure, same thing. But why? He wants Govinda to, because he calls him Govinda. Why he calls him Govinda? He wants Govinda to...
He wants him to satisfy his senses.
Yes, my God, his senses. He wants Krishna to say, basically, Arjuna, don't fight because your relatives are there. But Krishna is not falling for that. He has his own plan. Okay, symptoms, more symptoms. Fear of sinful reaction. Now Arjuna starts actually to argue. He starts to argue with Krishna. He brings out a whole catalog of arguments why he should not fight. Fear of sinful reactions. Why? Killing superiors, destroying. That's one of his arguments. Is destroying what?
Family and traditions.
Yes, destroying the family. So he said, I mean, that's not a good thing, killing superiors of Bhishma and Drona and so many other great fighters and destroying the family. So Krishna, how can it be a good thing? Arjuna is a devotee. What kind of devotee?
Arjuna is a natural devotee.
Yes, okay, nice. Anyone else has something different? Saintly. He's a saint. Why is he a saint? Because he does not want to destroy the family, and the culture and the tradition, and so many consequences it has of killing all these people, all these men on the battlefield. Such sinners who killing superiors and destroying the family, such sinners go, where do they go? Amit, that you should know. If someone is a sinner, where does he go? Amit, you can guess that, even if you didn't study.
You know, he's born back in this world.
Yes, not in this world. He goes down. He's going to hell. Patala Loka, Talatala, Mahatala, heavenly planets. And there is Yamaraj, and there he has to suffer for a long time. Royal, that's an argument, another argument he brings up. What is not worth it? Royal what? Let's not forget, on this level of argument, Arjuna plays the part of an ordinary materialistic person. of an ordinary king. Royal are not worth it to kill elders and superiors. Royal what? Who got it? Ben.
Didn't get that one.
Rashika. I'm very pleased your microphone is working. Nobody? Royal pleasures. Royal happiness would do. Royal pleasures, sir. I mean, he wins that kingdom and there will be lots of royal pleasures. But because he's such a saintly person, it's not worth it. He calls Krishna. Ben, you were wondering, you didn't know that last time.
Oh, that is Madhava, that one.
Madhava, which means a husband of the goddess of fortune. Why? Krishna should not induce Arjuna to fight, which would cause his
misfortune.
Yes, because the goddess of fortune, you see, that's all. It's not just by no reason why Arjuna talks as he talks, why he calls Krishna Govinda, because he knows Govinda means the pleaser of the cows and senses. So he wants Govinda to please his senses. And here, the goddess of fortune, Krishna should not induce Arjuna to fight, which causes him misfortune. Goddess of fortune, misfortune, just the opposite. And one more, destruction of the family. Why? If elders are killed, no one will check. What's that? What kind of actions?
Religious practices?
Religious action? No one will check. Irreligious actions.
Sorry,
right?
I meant to, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yes, that's what you meant, yes. Who's becoming polluted?
The women.
Yes, of course. If all the men are killed, irreligion sways. And what is, if women become polluted, they produce unwanted. What does it mean? Progeny, children, yes. What does it mean? Women become polluted. Women become polluted if they don't have a protector. If the men are not there, they're all killed. Then some scrupulous other persons, they will take advantage of the woman. And they makes them pregnant and produce unwanted children. Vana Shankara. Okay, D. What practice ceases? What practice? Anyone? Rishika, what did you write? Nobody? Religious practices.
Yeah.
Right? Religious practices. If there are unwanted children, if society is degraded, then there will be no religious practices. It will be just all sense enjoyment, like today. Right? Today, the world is full of Vana Shankara. Full of Vana Shankara. So there is hardly any religious practices left. E, what is destroyed?
Family tradition.
Culture. Yes. Yes, more or less the same thing. Culture.
I had two answers for that one. I had one is Varnashram Dharma and family
Is
tradition.
destroyed, which is also true. So you, Ben, you wrote down answers as well?
Yeah, just for my own.
Yes, for your own, not for your own, for everyone here, for the class. And did you look through the Bhagavad Gita to find the answers?
Yeah.
Very good. Did it help the red numbers in the updated sheet to point you a little bit more precisely where the information is?
Of course.
Of course. Very good. So what does, if culture is destroyed, what projects don't take place? Then what you got?
Is that one community projects?
No community projects take place. What
That's
is a
what
community project? Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes. Yes. Good. Yes, I know. No community projects take place. What is a community project? Can we have any example?
Like building of wells or water.
Yes, wells, digging wells for water. That's a community project. Or celebrating some festivals. So many. Celebrating Diwali. That will not, if culture is destroyed, because Diwali is a cultural festival. Of course, it's more than a cult, but it's also a cultural festival. So no community projects and no what kind of activities. Rashika, what you got? Ben, what you got?
That religious activities.
Welfare activities, right?
Yeah, well,
Yes, the religious we have already left set behind. So it's a more community-based now. So there was some indecision on Arjuna's side. He couldn't decide. Arjuna is, how would you describe his state now when after he's arguing with Krishna? And Krishna, yes, it brings up all these arguments. How would we describe Arjuna's state of mind?
Arjuna is perplexed.
Yes, confused, perplexed, same thing. About whether or not to, okay, that we leave for Amit.
Battle.
Arjuna is confused about whether or not to, he has a decision. To battle, yeah, to fight, exactly. Okay, that were the question. That will come in the quiz in just a moment's time. So let's run very quickly through breakdown of chapter 1, because we're leaving chapter 1 behind. It's not the most important chapter. It's setting the scene. It's the assemble on the battlefield, and it just gives us a bit of history. What happened? That is important to know. In the first verse, which is a key verse, anybody who likes or wants to learn some verses, then that is one verse, the only verse in chapter 1 which you could learn. Anyone knows that verse? Ben, I think you know that. Sanskrit.
Dharma Shatra Kurukshetra.
Go on. Samaveda Yayutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanchaya. So, in that first verse, Dhritarashtra's mindset is revealed. So he asking, they assembled on the battlefield, what did they do? Why? He's asking. Because he didn't want them to compromise. Krishna went to compromise through the court of the Kauravas. How did Krishna, what did he offer as a compromise? Anyone? Varshana, you know that.
He wanted Duryodhana to give them 5 little lands.
5 villages.
Yeah.
Right?
But
and what was Duryodhana's answer?
He was not prepared to even give them like a size of a pin. he was not prepared to even do that and give them that.
Just see her. So there was no compromise. But he wanted the fight. He wanted all the kingdom. And that was not a rhetorical question. So Pandavas, Kshatriyas need land. Kshatriyas need some. Kshatriya means a ruler. It's just like, how shall I explain? A teacher. A teacher needs what? A teacher needs students. A teacher besides... Yes, go on.
No, I just had a question for you. You know, it's about Duryodhan.
Okay.
Is Duryodhan a bad person? Or is he just... I mean, he's just a character in Krishna's Leela, isn't he? In a way that he's just performing a role, or he's playing this person, you know, in Krishna's pastime.
No, he is a baddie. I'm so sorry. He is a bad character, and that was revealed at the time of his birth, where the asses, the donkeys starting to bray, and the jackals were howling, and he was advised to cast aside his son because it wasn't who was, I don't remember who proposed that. Bad omens. It was clear from the moment.
Was it Vidura?
No.
Possibly. No.
Was it Vidura?
Vashana, what do you say?
Who did the
horoscope?
ceremony. It was that Maharaj. What's his name? Was it Vyasdev? No.
Could be.
Yeah. It was the
I don't
Maharaj
know.
who said that.
Yes.
I don't know for sure, but I just get a feeling it's Vidura, because Vidura was like he was like an advisor to his brother.
Yes, he was. Yes.
So he knew about the science of omens and all this kind of things. So
yeah, if anybody can find out and let us know next time. That would be nice. So yes, he was a bad person from the time of his birth. He was just spoiled. He was just a bad character. Okay, let's go on here. Then we're hearing about Duryodhan's diplomacy. He's estimating the strength, that is in text 2 to 11 of the first chapter. He is estimating the strength of the enemy and then the strength of his own army. And Srila Prabhupada writes in this connection, that is intelligence. If you're facing an enemy, you have to make an assessment of his strength. And that is exactly what Duryodhan did. And then of their own strength as well. And that is 2 to 11. Then we hear about the blowing of the conch shells. And that is roughly found in text 11 to 19 of the first chapter. And so many things. The blowing of the conch shells, the description of the different conch shells, the names of the different conch shells, the hearts of the Kauravas were shattered, all of that. Then Arjuna is asking Krishna, please, can you draw the chariot in between the armies so I can actually see who wants to fight me here, or us, Pandavas? It wasn't clear till the last minute because people were swapping sides and people were canvassing other kings who weren't quite. There was one king that was, I forgot the name. He wanted to join the Pandavas, right? And he, just a few days before the battle began. So he was on his journey with all his armies, and Duryodhan knew that. And on the way, he erected some refreshment booth. he bribed him. Amazing. He gave him gifts on the way, and just as it were from nowhere, there was suddenly when they needed to rest, there were resting places for the whole armies. There was prasadam arranged, everything. So in the end, that king, if someone knows the name, that would be very nice.
Salva.
That king, Salva, very good. Who said that?
Version.
Russia. So Salva, yes, you're right. It was Salva. So at the end, he wanted to originally join the Pandavas, and by all this nice arrangement of Duryodhana, who has sent his spies and he knew, so he was fighting for the Kauravas. Just see. It's like political parties, they're canvassing on the door. Huh? Why don't you vote for the Conservative, for the Tories, and someone else comes and all the canvas for the Labours. We have some little gifts to give out and all of that.
And he was also the uncle of Nakul and Sehdev.
Is it?
Yes. So
Sorry.
that was terrible.
Here you go. Yes, that was terrible. We have to understand that is just 5,000 years ago. It was very different than today. These Kshatriyas, they relish the fight. It's almost like how we can compare a wrestling match. A wrestling match. You have your opponent, and in a wrestling match, the match is actually what is important. It's not important at the end of the day which side wins or which side you're fighting for. So for these Kauravas, for these Kshatriyas there, it wasn't that important for which sides they were fighting. They just enjoyed a good fight. And they also enjoyed to see the strength of the opponents. If someone, like when Abhimanyu was in the Chatuvira, they really, they clapped basically when he was so skillfully fighting on the battlefield. They had great admiration, but at the end, of course, they killed him unfairly. So that we have to understand. So therefore, Salva, he just went to the wrong side. Okay, in text 25 and 26, Arjuna actually sees who is there. Then his dilemma starts. Before, not. Then he sees who is on the other side. And then there is a description of Arjuna's compassion from text 27 to 30. He's a very compassionate devotee. Compassionate for the family, the cultural projects, religious activities, protecting women, and. And then he brings out all these arguments we went through in the fill-in exercise, community projects, irreligiosity, unwanted progeny, and all of that. Varna Shankara. That is his arguments. And then in the last verse of the first chapter, Arjuna breaks down. Who can say how he breaks down? Because that dilemma is just too big. Everything is coming to the fight. Peace missions have failed, everything. And finally the armies assembled and the fight is about to start, and then Arjuna breaks down. How does he break down? Who can say?
He breaks down because he becomes overwhelmed with grief.
Yes. And what does he do? What are the external symptoms?
He starts to tremble.
Tremble, yes.
He loses the color in his skin.
Yes.
And his mouth dries up.
Yes. Shivering.
He drops his bow.
Yes. And then eventually because he was standing all the time.
Oh, then he had to sit down.
You have to sit down. Well, if we describe that, if we go to a doctor, you call the NHS and saying, these symptoms, what you just described, and I had to sit down, and they immediately send an ambulance, isn't it? So that's a serious, serious situation. Okay. What now? Now we do the quiz. You see, we cannot accomplish very much in an hour. Not at all. Not at all. So therefore, it is ever so important that we do a little bit of something at home, at least a fill-in exercise. Otherwise, we don't just want to do that Bhagavad Gita workshop of just reading the verses and that's it. We want a little bit more interactive. I think so. That goes much more deeper. If we engage with the subject matter, Amit, or anybody else, if we engage with the subject matter, we put some 10 minutes aside. At least we're doing that fill-in exercise. The next fill-in is for chapter 2, not in the first session, a bit later. Then we engage with a topic and it will stick in our mind much more. And it will be to our benefit. We're getting much, much more out if we engage actively. If we're just sitting comfortably back and we're just listening, then we get also something out of it, but not that much. Would you agree, Amit?
Yes, Prabhu, yes, I agree.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you for agreeing. Okay, let's do the quiz. These questions, which we just have gone, they're coming in the quiz. And that the quiz is actually now, if we can remember, that is just a reinforcement of what we have learned. Okay, I had it all set up. It disappeared. No, it is here. Okay, so now I want you to tell me. I have here at bottom, it says invite. I cannot try it out myself. I tried with my own mobile, but because I'm the same person on the mobile as within Zoom, I think it didn't work because of that. Of course, we know kahoo.it, www.kahoo.it. We know that. But that invitation button should work. Okay, I just sent an invitation to all participants. Can you tell me if you got the invitation? In your chat. Yes or no? No.
It didn't come to me, bro.
Yes, so that feature does not work. What a shame. But it's not lost. I share the screen now. And you can see the screen. In big, you can see the pin. And you can see www.kahoo.it. So if you can, please go to Kahoo.it, put in your browser, and put that pin 4817163, and then you're in the game. And are waiting for everyone. Rashika already here. Well done. Ben, welcome. Amit, where are you? And we keep connected by the audio, even though you going to the browser. Amit is here. Yes, Varshana Mataji. We're waiting for you. Not in Zoom. You have to go open a browser. Amit, no. Rashika, you disappeared. Okay. Don't leave. Just stay. Ben, you go now. Vaishana. Ben, come back. Don't click anything. Is that all who we have? 5. Yes, that is everybody. Okay, that is great. So I muted you. So are we ready? Okay, start. Ready, here we go. And so quicker you answer, so more points you get. Nobody? Or something wrong? Three answers. Here we go. He never fails in his affection for his devotees. Achyuta. We said infallible. Who said he's the husband of the goddess of fortune? He said, you, Amit?
I got it right.
You got it right? Okay, let's move on. Rashika was the quickest in this one, therefore she is top. Gutakesh, what does it mean? Yes, that was quick. Someone was very quick. So quicker, so more points. We're missing one answer. Conqueror of sleep and ignorance. Well done. Everybody got it right. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That is a reinforcement. I think if I ask you 6 months from now, what does Gutakesh mean? Everybody will say, oh, the conqueror of sleep and ignorance. That is wanted. Good learning. Next. Rishikesh. What does it mean? Rishikesha. The first answers coming in. 19 seconds. 2, 3. Right. So owner of the senses. Someone said infallible. We had said before, Achyuta means infallible. We went through it. Rishikesh means a master, the owner of the senses. Well done. Next. Amit, you have a winning streak, it shows here. Oh, isn't that nice? The winning streak means if you have it right for 2 or 3 answers, then you have a winning streak. You may not be the top of the crowd. Next, 4 out of 18. Govinda means, we talked about it very clearly. Now the answer should come in very quickly for everyone. Someone is hesitating. Everybody got it right. Pleaser of the cows and senses. Isn't that nice? If I ask you 6 months from now, what does Govinda mean? Everybody will say, he who gives pleasure to the cows and senses. Ben, you're on top with a winning streak. You overtook Rashika. Okay, next. One answer outstanding. Soft-hearted, knowledgeable, not in that context. That we went through it very clearly. Enjoy. Who said perform his duties? That's also true, of course, but in that context, Arjuna cannot enjoy without his relatives. We talked about it. Next. Right now we have, just now Vashana overtook you, Amit. So I would think so. You got that answer wrong, I would imagine. Ben on top, Rashika next, Vashana next, Amit next. Next question. That's easy. Arjuna wants Govinda to his senses. To please his senses. I can understand control. Someone said control. It is close by. Ben, you have a winning streak. You're on top. And we go into the next question. 8 out of 18. Madhava. Now that we spoke very clearly about it. What does Madhava mean? It's Bhagavad Gita 136. You don't probably have time to look it up. No, someone that's a well-wisher of all living entities. That was a guess. Someone made a guess. He was a husband. Madhava means a husband of the goddess of fortune. Ben mentioned that last time. And this time we reinforced that. Ben, you got it right. You're still on your winning streak, and we go next. If the family is destroyed, well, that's an easy one. I would expect everybody to get that right. Who becomes polluted? Yes, everybody got it right. No? No, someone said all members of society. Yes, a good guess. Just say everything that is included, but specifically here, the women. And that is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Vashana, you have a winning streak, it says here. That means you have had 3 answers correct. No, Vashana has the highest answer streak of 6. Woo! You got 6 in a row right. Well done. Congratulations. Next. If the family is destroyed, a woman will produce unwanted children. Become degraded. Yes, that is in general. I can see the logic of that. But if you were studying more closely, then we're speaking about unwanted children. Oh, Rashika, Ben, you got that wrong. Rashika has overtaken you. There's a close contest on top. True or false? One answer outstanding. It is true. Everybody got that right. Yes. Good. Rashika is top on a winning streak. Amit, you're on the bottom. You know why? Because you didn't have time to study. Next. 12 out of 18. If culture is destroyed, no will be created. No community projects will be created. Okay. Vashana, you move to second place now. Just a little bit ahead of Ben. Amit, it says here, Amit has the highest answer streak of 4. Well done. You need to catch up. True or false? If culture is destroyed, no welfare activities will take place. I would have expected everybody gets that right. Next. If elders are killed, no one will check. Irreligious actions. Everybody gets that right. Well done. Next. True or false? Arjuna cannot enjoy the kingdom without his relatives. Yes, I would have expected that to be, everybody was correct at that. It says here, Amit has a streak with 7 correct answers in a row. Oh, good, Amit. And one more, true. The aim of the Gita is karma yoga. True or false? It is false, clearly. The aim is bhakti yoga, devotional service. Rashika, you're on top. It clearly shows you have studied. True or false? The Gita is all about devotional service. Or is it? Maybe not. Who said it is false? I can pull that up later on with exactly who said what. It is true. It is all about devotional service. Nothing else. Second last question. Last question. The Battle of Kurukshetra needs to be understood. That is a very important question. Symbolically? Or what? Okay, we got 3 different answers. That is very important. The Battle of Kurukshetra is understood literally. If we know anything about Srila Prabhupada, everything is literal understood. There are some Mayavad theories and speculations. They're saying the battle actually, that is symbolically. The battlefield of Kurukshetra, it represents a body. The 5 Pandavas represent the 5 senses. Krishna represents a mind, and like that. That's all total speculation. Because Kurukshetra is still here today. One can visit that holy pilgrimage place. The battle actually took part in Kurukshetra. It's not symbolically, it's totally literally. Because if you start going down that road, it's symbolically, this means this means that. That is not Bhagavad Gita as it is. That is Bhagavad Gita as I want it to be. That is Bhagavad Gita without Krishna. If you say Krishna represents a mind, so Krishna doesn't really exist, does he? It's just all allegorically, it's all symbolically. That's Mayavad philosophy. We don't accept that. And that is not Bhagavad Gita as it is. So that is important to understand. Never accept anything allegorically, symbolically. This means that, and that's all speculation. Okay, that was the end of the game. So now you want to head over to Zoom to honor the players. Over to Zoom, everyone. Are we all in Zoom? Back? Then let's honor the players. Rashika, isn't that nice?
Well done, Rashika.
Well done.
Well done.
So, why has Rashika climbed to the top place? Because she has specifically studied. So, well done. Very, very nice. Did you enjoy that game?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that was spontaneous. That was beautiful. Yes. So we'll do that more often. I don't think we might have a game next. I have some other games, general question, but we want to try to be focused here. So we have finished the first chapter. And next time we will come to the second chapter. And first we have to cover a little bit of ground before we can do a fill-in exercise and before we can do another quiz. This quiz, both the quiz was based on the fill-in exercise, and the fill-in exercise comes from the Bhakti Shastri course. And we will depart a little bit from that course. Oh, Rishika, you're twice here. Okay. We will go our own way, specially tailored to this group. I have a good idea how quick and how deep we can go, so it can only get better. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope we'll see you all on Saturday for our Srimad Bhagavatam workshop. We'll have another quiz on Saturday. Either Rashmi has prepared something, I have something in also a general quiz. And you know what makes a really, really good quiz? A quiz on Krishna book. Who was Aghasura? Who was this? Who all the demons can be covered? What happened in Kasura and all that? That's very easy. Srimad Bhagavatam quiz, at least the verses we are on right now, it's very, very difficult, if not impossible. Ben, you wanted to get some question. I would encourage everyone now for the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, send me some questions, quiz questions. Even if everybody here send me one quiz question and there are good questions, then we have already 4 questions. Okay. So we'll see you on Saturday with quiz and with Srimad Bhagavatam reading. We have a bit more time. So we almost took 1.5 hours. I think we almost need that. Thank you very much. See you on Saturday. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, everyone.